Well, happy St. Patrick's Day. This is Jennifer Crowley. I am co-author of the Life Care Management Handbook and co-founder of the Life Care Management Institute. And I am joined here today with my colleague and friend, co-author Shauna Huber, who is going to introduce our special guest today.
Hi, thank you and welcome. Happy St. Patty's Day. Today, we're honored to have Chris Williams with Wide Awake Business. So, Chris Williams is a co founder of Wide Awake Business and is a sought after speaker, business coach, leadership expert, and best selling author with our business partner, Martha Hanlon, of Customertopia: How to Create an Easier, Simpler, More Profitable Business. Since 2008, she has guided over 5,324 businesses to increase their revenue by $638 million. Chris has worked with aging life care businesses across the country, providing systems, strategies, and an innovative virtual business summit to meet the unique challenges of serving older adults and their families. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Shauna. I'm so excited about your book launch today. Great job, you guys.
Thank you. And Chris, we're just going to ask you some questions and pick your brain. And thank you for sharing some of your expertise with us today. So, you have experience working with professional care managers, helping them to expand growth and reach their potential. You contributed to the chapter on marketing in the handbook, and you talk a lot about relationship building. And what does it really mean to build a relationship?
Shauna, that's a great question. You know, you guys did a great job of putting these questions together. And what it took me back to when I was 28 years old working for Xerox. And it reminded me is that they kept saying, build a relationship, build a relationship. And I didn't really know what that meant. I thought it meant take the guy who was buying the copier, pin him up against the wall, poke him on his little head until he said yes. That's not what they meant, right? The whole idea of relationship, if you think about creating a new best friend, right? The way we create friends is by asking lots of questions, becoming curious. And it also is a great way to interact with our teenagers, right? Because our teenagers, they don't like to be told what to do. They like to have their input. And so when we ask them questions and really listen to them and listen from a space of understanding their needs and wants, not listening to figure out what we're going to say next. So building relationship is all about asking powerful questions, asking, entering into it with curiosity. That's what I look at all the time.
Thanks, Chris. And so you mentioned a little bit about some important ways to make connections and build those lasting relationships. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the ways you make those connections and how to build better, lasting relationships?
Well, it's interesting. In our book, Customertopia, we talk a lot about that. So Customertopia is a made up word. And what it means is the land of customers or the land of clients. And from a care manager perspective, you guys are fabulous, magical when it comes to moving people from high acuity to medium acuity down to low acuity. And what's interesting is that the rest of the world doesn't know what a care manager is. I ask all the time in favor of you guys. I'm like, do you know what a care manager is? Do you know what a care manager is? And they're like, no, you mean a case manager at a hospital? Like, no, 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 no. And knowing that 10,000 people turn 65 every day, we have to make sure there's enough care managers around to take care of me when I need you. So I'm on a mission. So it's asking lots of questions. And oftentimes I'll read a letter that a care manager has written that they're going to send out to their referral partners. First off, the letter has to be about, let's just say it's an elder care attorney. Let's say we're sending a letter out to an elder care attorney. It has to be about what makes him tick or her tick. What problems does she have? What fears does she have? How do we make her or him become a hero with their clients? And if we always think about how do I step in the shoes of my referral client? How do I step in the shoes well, it's really of my referral person, right? Because you guys have multiple clients. You have the actual patient, you have the adult children, and you have the referral partners, right? And the referral partners, we want to make them a hero. We want to give them the resources they need to really have a well-rounded practice. And you and I all know that the referral partners, the elder care attorneys, the CPAs, the certified financial planners, the doctors don't always have eyes on the client, and you guys do. So how do we ask them big questions and really speak to what keeps them awake at night?
That's really powerful what you said, and I appreciate what you in your response the first question Shauna asked you, because I'm always impatient, I guess. I'm so busy, and a lot of us are like this, where you're always constantly thinking of what your next step's going to be, and you forget to bring it down a notch, right? For a new care manager,
bring it down a notch and just focus on the client.
Yeah, absolutely. For a new care manager starting out, it can be overwhelming. So all of your tips are great. I know for myself, I struggled initially with the number of referrals coming in. I was probably not doing things as best I could have. It is important to teach others, how to navigate the area of referrals. And what do you think are some of the ways a care manager can impact their referrals besides what you just talked about of making it very personal?
That's a great question, Jennifer. And I think that if I was to break it down super simply, we say this in the chapter in the book. So, get the book and read the chapter and do sort of the work assignment in the book, but I'll give it to you just quickly. So and I'll ask you guys, how many handwritten notes have you received did you receive in 2020? Like, how many did you receive? 1, 2. Most people can remember the handwritten note that they got, right? And really then ask the next question, how many handwritten notes did you get from your referral partners? How many handwritten notes did you get from the adult children? Because you might have received some from the elders, because that's their style of interacting. So the process is understand what their problems are, write them a letter, send it to them in a snail mail. Do not email, do not email, do not email. I don't know about you guys, right? We get 100 emails every single day, and it gets worse every single day, right? So a handwritten letter that goes out to them that explains not your services, but how you impact their challenges. So I understand, elder care attorney, these are your challenges, boom, boom, boom. Right? And you send it in a hand addressed envelope. And then write this down, every 7 to 10 days, you send them another article, 1 page only, with a sticky note on top of it that says, hey, elder care attorney, or hey, John, or hey, Susan, I thought this would be a great resource for you and your clients, Jennifer. And then you send that off in a hand addressed envelope, because here's what happens. We don't want to be salesy to them. Of course, we want to become resource extraordinaire. And how we become a resource is every 7 to 10 days, send them some article that they can use. Because here's what's going to happen. That attorney, the Susan or the John or whoever, going to come out of their office with their hair on fire and go, oh my gosh, we need a resource for this elder person. Who do we know? And because you built a relationship with the gatekeeper or the receptionist or whoever that front person is, they go, oh my gosh, Jennifer keeps coming by here and dropping off these hand addressed envelopes with these sticky notes on it. You should call her. That's how it works. And it has to be consistent, right? Because they're looking at you guys as, I want to make sure you have good communication. I want to make sure that you do what you say you're going to do. So you have to send the letters every 7 to 10 days, like clockwork, for at least 3 months. And care managers are so funny. You guys all, like all of us, right? We get super busy. I'm just saying that this is probably the most important thing to do. And oh, by the way, it's practically free, just costs the price of a stamp.
Right. You provide so much insight in our book about engaging in a structured referral marketing campaign, offering a step-by-step process for achieving this. So you describe a little bit of those steps just now. And I wonder if you can share a few more approaches that you recommend when starting a referral marketing campaign. And, there's some of the language in the book, and just so the viewers or listeners know, if you're not writing these tips down, there's an in-depth chapter that covers this, more comprehensively. But can you tell me a little more about the internal customer referral process and testimonials, if you think that's important as well, or?
So always, and this is what it reminds me of, is one of our care managers this year, actually, she goes, you know what? We actually save our clients money. I'm like, did you say that to anybody? Because that's a huge statement, right? Because care management costs an hourly rate and people kind of freak out because, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars for my elder mom. And how do I know I'm going to get the return on that investment, or I'm going to spend the kids' money, or whatever all that is? Well, when she said that to me, I said, wait a second, you actually save people money? And she said, yeah, care managers save clients money all the time because they don't have to hire more doctors. They don't have to fly across the country. They don't have to, and all they need to do is love on their loved ones, right? And really be that good daughter or good son. So the referral marketing program really starts with making a list. Super easy. First thing, if I was a brand new care manager, the first thing I would do is I would make a list of all the potential care management referral partners. I had to think of the right words, referral partners that I could possibly find, and just do it on an Excel spreadsheet, or you could do it on a piece of paper, but I do it on an Excel spreadsheet. I would list down all the elder care attorneys, all the CPAs, and all the contacts, and then look at them in some geographic. When I go visit this client, I'm going to call these 4 people and either do a Zoom coffee with them, do a phone call with them, or drop off a hand addressed letter to them. So it depends, you know, global world that we're in now with COVID and all that good stuff. It, you know, we can't do as much drop by. That's why that hand addressed envelope, I can't even say it enough. It is so important because that's what they're going to remember.
I feel somewhat guilty about that. I'm not very proficient at doing that, and it's a good reminder. I have heard it before, but it's excellent tips. So when you're marketing to your network of professionals, what do you feel is more effective for creating a more personal or meaningful approach? I mean, is it getting them tokens of appreciation or little thoughtful gifts, or just like what you said?
Well, Jennifer, that's a great question. And you care managers, don't be hard on yourself. You guys rock the world. I think that what you do is really magical. I love it. I think it's super powerful. That's why we work with care managers all day long at Wide Awake Business. But what I want to say about that is that it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So you can send out 10 letters a week. If it's just you and your business, 10 letters a week, and doing that every 7 to 10 days, you print out one article off the internet about seniors and the holidays, about seniors and homelessness, about seniors and shoot, there's tons of information right now on COVID and how it's impacting our seniors from a depression level, right? So you give that article, one article, print it out, make sure it's on one piece of paper. There's some key things, put a sticky note on it, hand address it, 10 of them. If you just did 10 every 3 months, 10 more every 3 months, 10 more, by the end of the year, you would have contacted 50 referral partners or 40 referral partners, right? So it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And I think overwhelming comes to me when I don't know what to do. And so we can take away the overwhelm. So that's why at Wide Awake Business, we talk about it all the time, create easier, simpler, more profitable businesses. And Jennifer, you don't care how we do it, right? You don't care if we use raindrop therapy or mashed potato therapy, right? As long as we create easier, simpler, more profitable, and make it so it's not overwhelming. 10 a week, that's all you need to do for 3 months. 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. And I think that makes it super easy.
Yeah, and the handwritten note, I just think is so powerful, and you remember it. And I still remember from, gosh, I think it's been 4 years now, that someone, you think of, oh, I need to do a handwritten note to someone that can refer business to me, but we don't think about it the other way. And a lot of times with care managers, there's cross referrals. And it was an attorney that I had never referred business to, but he referred a client to me and then sent me a Christmas gift and a handwritten letter saying, thank you so much for taking good care of our client. And I was like, wow, like 4 years. And I still remember that. So just, you're right. Just having the time to even write a handwritten letter or something like that is so important, Chris. It's a good reminder.
Well, and I think, Shauna, too, is it doesn't have to be a letter. It can be, and I think that's what the overwhelm comes in. It's like, first of all, you buy a stack of nice quality envelopes. Then you buy a stack of nice quality stationery that you can print on. And then you write a hand note on the stationery, which has the printed out letter. Oh, by the way, the letter only needs to be 2 paragraphs max because nobody reads anymore, right? And
Right.
then handwritten. And then when you send the article out, you already have the stationery, you already have the envelopes, you already have the stamps. So you can just sit while you're eating lunch, just don't drip chocolate on it or something.
Right. And you found success over the years in helping guide individuals through business strategy and marketing. You also wrote a book. So, can you share any advice or tips for additional learning or support that care managers might be seeking, such as programs you attended or other education that you're aware of or participated in?
Well, there's a bunch of things, obviously, like always when we're talking about, we should bring in the association. So the ALCA Association, Aging Life Care Association, and the Advocacy Association, there's lots of associations that have some really great training. But what I was thinking of when you asked that question, I was thinking of one of the things I notice is that care managers don't talk to each other enough. You guys are not competitive. There's so much business out there. Oh my goodness. It doesn't matter if you're all in Chicago or you're all in Ohio or you're all in Michigan. It doesn't really matter. There is so much business out there. And so I think if you haven't picked up the phone and called the care manager in another state, let's just start there, and you have never done that, that's one tip I would give you, because you're going to learn so much from that other care manager. And especially during these COVID days when we're not traveling and we're not meeting each other at the association meetings and all of that, if you just pick up the phone and make it a date to call one care manager every single month, by the end of the year, you will be meeting 12 new referral partners, because care managers refer interstate, out of state all the time, right? So that's one idea. The other idea I was thinking of is, I don't know how you guys could run a business without a coach or a mentor. I've had a coach my entire life, and I would say that I couldn't have grown my business, written 2 books, bought out my business partner without my coach, because my coach kind of helps me stay aligned and gets me out of the overwhelm that Jennifer was talking about, because the overwhelm is just my brain. I saw this meme the other day, and it was a picture of a guy pulling a cart. And he said, the hardest part is getting his mind out of the way, and his head was flipped back, this huge head on the cart. And I thought, isn't that so true? So getting a coach or a mentor, attending the association meetings, and picking up the phone and calling a care manager in another state once a month. I just think that you guys are brilliant. You're all so smart. If I could just bring you all together so you could talk to each other.
Yeah, and the speaker yesterday also talked about the monkey mind. So it's interesting that you bring that up as well. That's so important to get out of that mindset and having someone help you get out of that mindset.
Well,
And then
oh, I was just going to say, didn't you notice that as you guys were putting together the book, right? You talked to more care management, people in the circle, right? That's why the book is so fabulous, because it's not just one person's perspective, it's multiple successful people's perspective on how to run a care management practice. That's why we got into it. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so needed in the industry to bring all these minds together who have expertise in different areas to put it all in one place. So hats off to you guys, Jennifer and Shauna, for putting it together, because it's most needed.
Thank you. And I think that's what care management is about, is just, you're reaching out to other experts for their opinions and helping connect the dots. And we need to do that for ourselves and our own businesses as well, as you so well put it, Chris. And the last question I have is just, what are your interests and hobbies? And how do you find time to focus on what makes you happy outside of work? Because I know, like we mentioned, you're an author, you run a business, you have so much happening. Yeah, you have a mom, you have so much going on. So how do you find time?
So I think that's a great question, and I was sort of giggling at it. So first of all, I have to tell you that this summer I kayaked 15 lakes. right?
Wow.
15 different lakes. And here's what I know. When I'm pumped up and I have plenty of self-care, I do a way better job with all of our clients, right? I can't serve you guys, care managers, if I'm not in a great space. It doesn't work. So the more importantly, I think, is for all of us to spend time on self-care, taking care of ourselves, whether it's a walk around the block. And Shauna, you and I have had this conversation a couple of times, a walk around the block, going out to the farm and collecting the eggs or whatever that piece is, right? Because there is so many requirements and so many hats we wear as moms, as business owners, tech people, all the different pieces. So when I'm pumped up and I have plenty of self-care, then I do a better job with my clients and who I serve all day long. And we're always telling our business leaders, okay, fine. It reminded me of one of our clients, and I won't mention her name. She is a care manager, and she hasn't taken a vacation in 2 years. 2 years she hasn't taken a vacation. I would be stir crazy by then. So I made her plan her next vacation. She wants to go to Africa, and I made her plan and give me a date. She goes, well, I can't go till next March. I go, okay, let's just at least get it on the calendar, right? So she calendarized it. She bought her ticket and she has a date. Well, just the idea of her having a vacation in a year from now puts her in a different space. And she was saying the other day, she said, you're not going to believe this, but I used to spend 60% of my working hours with clients. Now I spend 10% of my working hours with clients. And the rest of the time I actually have to think about what we're going to do next, how we're going to reach out to our referral partners. And I do believe it has something to do with self-care. We're women. We say yes a lot. And for you men out there, I know you say yes a lot too, but women definitely say yes way more often.
That's a great point. And I know when I've gone a long time without vacation, we try to go at least once a year. But whenever you go, you're like, gosh, why don't I do that more often? And when I start planning my next vacation, as soon as we're driving back or flying back from that vacation, I'm like, okay, where are we going next? Just because you get it on the calendar, like you said, it's something good to look forward to and plan. It's fun.
You could do the referral marketing program for 3 months. And at the end of the 3 months, providing you every 7 to 10 days, sent a letter out to those 10 people, take off for 3 days, celebrate. Oh my gosh, do it again, celebrate. So then you'd have a little more excitement, Jennifer, about doing the referral program, right? If you had a reward at the end of it.
I get it.
I love that.
It's good tip.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time to meet with us. We look forward to helping so many, and we thank you for your contribution to the handbook. I think it's such great information. And how can anyone, and I'd love for you too to mention your books that you have out there, Chris, and how can people then get in touch with you and learn more about your books or Wide Awake Business?
Well, Shauna, before I do that, show us a picture of your book. Hold it up.
Oh, yes.
It's
Life
so
Care Management
exciting.
Handbook.
Yes, it's so exciting. I love it.
While you're talking, I'll find your chapter in here so that we can.
Okay, great. So we've written 2 books. Our first book was Customers Are the Answer to Everything. It's in workbook format. And it was introduced in 2012, but still appropriate. And then our second book came out in 2019, which is called Customertopia, the Land of Customers. My name is Chris Williams. You can reach us through wideawakebusiness.com. There's a little phone number, contact, all that good stuff. You can just go straight down there. And because you met me on with Jennifer and Shauna, you can just send a note to chris@wideawakebusiness.com and say you'd like a 30-minute strategy session. I would offer all your folks a 30-minute strategy session. It's completely free. And I promise I'll give you at least 2 strategies you can implement in your business. And usually they're free. Like the referral marketing program, it just costs stamps, but it's pretty much a free strategy that works. So thank you for having me, and show that book all day today. Oh my gosh, it smells good. It looks good.
Thank you for offering that to the listeners, viewers. So you're in section 7 of our book. We have 8 sections. You're in section 7, the life care management business. So if we flip to page 590, There is a whole section on marketing, chapter 38, where Chris Williams provides a rich content for anyone that just needs that extra support, which we know we all do. So thank you again,
For sure.
Chris. And if you are interested in the book, go to lcmexpert.com and you can purchase it there. So have a great day. Happy St. Patrick's
Nice.
Day.
Congratulations. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye.